Joshua chapter 4. Hello, my name is Lydia and I'm currently reading the entire Bible, chapter by chapter, day by day, until I get to the end of it. I started in James, then I got to halfway through Exodus, and I needed a moment, I just needed a break. So I've jumped forward to Joshua and I'm now getting into the swing of this book. It's quite interesting. More is happening than was happening in Exodus, for which I'm very glad and very grateful. But regardless, let's get into it. Today I'll be reading Joshua chapter 4. When the whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Choose 12 men from among the people, one from each tribe, and tell them to take up 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, from right where the priests stood, and to carry them over with you, and put them down at the place where you stay tonight." So Joshua called together the 12 men he had appointed from the Israelites, one from each tribe, and said to them, "Go over before the ark of the Lord your God into the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, to serve as a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever." So the Israelites did as Joshua commanded them. They took 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, as the Lord had told Joshua, and they carried them over with them to their camp, where they put them down. Joshua set up the 12 stones that had been in the middle of the Jordan at the spot where the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant had stood, and there they are to this day. Now the priests who carried the ark remained standing in the middle of the Jordan until everything the Lord had commanded Joshua was done by the people, just as Moses had directed Joshua. The people hurried over, and as soon as all of them had crossed, the ark of the Lord and the priests came to the other side while the people watched. The men of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh crossed over, armed, in front of the Israelites, as Moses had directed them. About 40,000 armed for battle crossed over before the Lord to the plains of Jericho for war. That day the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they revered him all the days of his life, just as they had revered Moses. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Command the priests carrying the ark of the testimony, to come up out of the Jordan." So Joshua commanded the priests, "Come up out of the Jordan." And the priests came up out of the river, carrying the ark of the covenant of the Lord. No sooner had they set their feet on the dry ground than the waters of the Jordan returned to their place and ran at flood stage as before. On the 10th day of the first month, the people went up from the Jordan and camped at Gilgal on the eastern border of Jericho. And Joshua set up at Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken out of the Jordan. He said to the Israelites, "In the future, when your descendants ask their fathers, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them, 'Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground.'" Dry ground. Wowee. You can tell I've been up for too long. It's 4 p.m. and I woke up at 9. Tell them, "Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the Jordan before you until you had crossed over. The Lord your God did to the Jordan just what he had done to the Red Sea when he dried it up before us until we had crossed over. He did this so that all the peoples of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful, and so that you might always fear the Lord your God." And that's that chapter done, aptly right at the end of the page. Thank you so much for joining me today and for, putting up with my sleepy brain. As Stitch is sleepy, I am also sleepy. I don't wake up in the morning very often. so I'm at a loss. I'm trying not to take caffeine in very much. I say this like I didn't drink a green tea, but that's not the same as a coffee, so it's okay. But I still have to get used to this new status quo of being up in the morning. I know, crazy. So please bear with me, I apologise. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and may God bless you abundantly today and tomorrow in case I do not post, but I plan on also filming another video right now of the next chapter because I've been a bit wishy-washy recently and I want to be more consistent with my posting. So yeah, God willing, I'll be there. Be there or square, that is. Aside from that, if you'd like to watch these videos in a clearer order, you can do so on my YouTube channel, where there are playlists with every chapter that I've read, from James to the middle of Exodus, and then from the start of Joshua onwards, in French, Spanish and English, where English is my first language, and then French and Spanish I learned back in the day in school. So bear with if you are a Francophone or a Hispanohablante. Just bear with, please, please, please. I don't study like that anymore. And there are also playlists dedicated to each book which I've covered from the Bible in each language. So there's a lot going on, and it's a lot easier to keep track of there. So like, comment, subscribe, share, repost, talk about it, I don't know. Share the gospel, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.